4 stars but disappointed. Really? I would take that any day. Welcome everyone. Andy here, non-fiction award-winning author. So I'm on my journey and I'm thankful for you being here watching this video. And my next journey is actually into the world of fiction and hopefully maybe writing a thriller novel at some point in the future. So this is just me sharing my journey. Part of that is I'm reading thriller books. I'm reading in the niche I want to write in. So that's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to share, what I pick out from Amazon pages. So the description page, the landing page as it were. I'm also going to share how we're going to look at Publisher Rocket to see if we can get any more insights into maybe some of the keywords and the categories that these books have. So let's dive right in. This is the Amazon landing page for this book. It's called Simply Lies by David Baldacci. It's really popular, by the way, 24,000 odd ratings. This guy knows what he's doing, or the publisher does for sure. So over here, there's the description. It's not particularly enticing. I mean, there are some keywords in here as well. For example, single mother, former detective, maybe global investigation, that kind of thing. Arms dealer, you can, when you're in the niche, hopefully pick out some of the keywords. It shouldn't be too difficult to pick out a keyword for something that's a thriller, that's mystery, like mysterious, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be too difficult. But yeah, it doesn't really look very appetizing, so it strikes me more like a wall of text on this description. I will probably say if it were me, I'll probably split this up, have a bit more spacing, maybe have shorter paragraphs. So that will be my take on that. From the publisher, this will be like the A+ content. It looks really good, in line with the cover page, which is cool, and then the back page, I guess. So if you look at the cover page, this is in line with the A+ content over here, all right? And they basically use different wording, but it's the same cover, effectively. They've got some editorial reviews, which is nice, not listed like hundreds, which some of them have done. And yeah, let's have a look at the reviews, and particularly what keywords come up in the reviews. Simply Lies, obviously, that's the name of the book, and you can see Baldacci comes up quite a bit. Witpro, Witness Protection. This Mickey Gibson is the main character. I think other than that, I don't think there's particularly anything strong on keywords that we can pick up from the review section. Before we go into Publisher Rocket analysis of keywords, let's have or categories. Let's have a look. I made some notes about this book, so let's go through some of those notes, so bear with me. So this book is about like a treasure hunting. It's got action, thriller, some mystery in it. So it's pretty nice. It's a well-rounded story. It's a story-centric or plot-driven, I think. The main character is there, but overall it's still driven by the story. The pacing of the book, I would guess most chapters were 2 to 5 pages long on average. So out of 418 pages, I've got the hardcover version. I would guess that it really got going, so my interest really started going, and I couldn't put the book down from around 250 to 300 pages in. So that will put it around the halfway or just over halfway mark before it really started to pick up. This is not like other books in that other books may have a quicker pace, from start to finish, and this isn't like that. The main character is female. She's a former detective, now a private online investigator. Basically, she got dragged into doing some shady things, and it becomes clear later on in the story that this is effectively a treasure hunt. The book's written in a third-person point of view, and it's from a very close narrating point of view. It's almost like you're standing right next to the character, right next to the character's ear. You can almost hear their thoughts. So I thought that was quite nice. There was a good mix between dialogue and the close narrator showing text, so the narrating voice showing things was actually okay. It worked well, in my view, because it covered some storytelling for the individual characters going through the story, and in between there was enough story showing with dialogue between the characters, so that was pretty good as well. In terms of the ending, I thought it was quite nice. I'm not going to have any spoilers here, but it was a very pleasant ending. So everyone kind of went through a difficult time and they got out pretty well, and they became friends kind of thing. So what I really liked about this book was the build-up of the story was very nice. It's very well executed. There were twists and turns and plot twists and turns along the way, but ultimately it revealed a treasure hunt, and that's when the story really picked up, when you kind of figured, okay, it's all about this, let's go. But yeah, the twists and turns as the story was being built up kept the pacing going. And there was significant character development as well, which was good to observe. So for example, initially there was an alliance of convenience between two characters, but this morphs into an actual alliance because they need each other. And that eventually turns into a friendship between these characters, each of them had to go through their own personal journeys and growth for themselves, and then eventually they meet up as friends. So it was kind of like a hate relationship that morphed into a friendship love relationship as the story progressed. So that was very nice, actually. The version of the book that I got, which I'm flipping through right now, is the hardcover version. You may have noticed there's a lead-in small caps on the first sentence of every chapter, so that's something you may want to observe in other books if you're formatting your own, especially. The other thing to note is the title of the book and the author name are on the top of the right hand side and left hand side respectively. Something I would like to just note for myself almost is that they had ISBNs for signed editions as well as ISBNs for Barnes & Noble signed editions, so that was interesting. So it's not unusual to have like special copies just for the signed edition, but they actually listed this down as well on the copyright page. Okay, let's whip up Publisher Rocket and see what we can get. Now, this book is a psychological thriller, so I'm going to type that in just so you know it's a psychological thriller, because it says Simply Lies, a psychological thriller. That's literally what they say. So let's have a look. I'm going to type in psychological thriller and see what comes up, and just so we have like a starting point. Psychological thriller. Maybe I'll skip bestsellers. We probably can't use that. Yeah, okay, just the first 2 or 3 we can already see the average number of pages, you know, so it's not like a 20-page book, you know, this is a proper full-length novel. It's very competitive, so there's quite a lot of competitors. The average price, it's not hugely expensive, so $7. I think this is quite broad in my view, but look, the estimated search volume on Amazon, like this is crazy. Really competitive, by the way, but they also equally bring in a good amount of money, so you know that's something for us to make note of if we are, you know, looking at something like this as a keyword. Competition analyzer, let's have a look. I'm going to pull the ASIN over here, so that's the ASIN right here. Copy that and then go into here. And let's have a look at the competition. I'm going to have a look at the categories first, and then we'll export this thing to see what information we can get. Okay, so sales to number 1. Look at this. Oh my goodness. 4,000 sales to number 1. Yeah, okay. I don't think I'm going to be competing in these categories if I have a choice. This is probably the least competitive. So 78 sales to number 1 for this category, and then 30 to number 10, which is basically getting you to the page 1 of that category. But yeah, it's a very competitive niche, as you can see, dominated by large publishers mostly, and then some of them are in Kindle Unlimited as well, so that's interesting to note. Let's have a look at the competition data, if we can see anything interesting from that, from Publisher Rocket. Let's just pull that up. So competition analyzer, it's not anything fancy, but it's just good to have this information if you ask me. So there we go, we've got Simply Lies, a psychological thriller. We know there's keywords in there for sure, and it's been published for quite a few months. Bestseller rank, it's killing it, 2300s, you know, multiple selling a day, and the price is $14.99, so that's good. I mean, this is good to know that this book is doing very, very well. So if you have, you know, the capacity to write a book similar to this, you may be onto a home run. Anyway, those are my thoughts. What did you think? Have you read this book? Do you plan on reading this book? Let me know what your thoughts are. And if you want to see more videos about this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I shall see you next time.